This one is in the same series as the King's Knight and the Callahan videos, and I'm working on a lot of characters from that series. So far, all of them have been in this experimental technique of uh, doing line work over a sketch on a sketch pad. That is not indicative of what qualifies them of being in this series. That just is coincidental so far, because I feel like it's kind of working for me, so I may do other things in that style with that technique. But this one is a character named Mr. Harvey. Harvey is from the Jimmy Stewart film or the play, in which Jimmy Stewart's character Elwood P. Dowd has a friend who is a 6 foot tall invisible rabbit named Harvey, and I'm not entirely sure why I decided to make this character based on that, because he's also kind of a Kamen Rider-esque character. He's his outfit is very much inspired by Cyborg 009 with the scarf and the military-looking button-up suit there. But then I also gave him boxing boots, and hanging off of his belt some boxing gloves. And this character has gone through a lot of different evolutions, or has evolved through a lot of different phases, I should say, I guess, because it's not Pokemon. I don't know. So I used to have kind of this idea that he was just some guy in the world I described before of this like flying city where all these wacky characters are stuck there and fighting each other. And he was just a random guy who found this weird rabbit helmet and acquired a bunch of odds and ends to put together kind of like a suit of armor. So like boxing gloves, and he used to have like snow boots, or even at one point he had flippers for his feet, which was a little too flaming carrot, so I got rid of that. And he was a bit more like just in over his head person pretending to be a superhero, but really just like freaking out all of the time because everything was trying to kill him. And I still think that was a fun idea, but I feel like that's been done more. I have evolved the character, especially because I really wanted to explain why he had a rabbit helmet. And the real reason was I was just doodling one day, and I designed this helmet that has gone through several iterations to become what it is now. But originally it was like, I think that's kind of a neat design, I'm going to make it into a helmet. Now he is kind of not altogether there. He still kind of has that idea of he doesn't really have any superpowers, but he's very convinced that nothing can hurt him. And he is exceptionally lucky. But he is kind of under the delusion that the entire world is just a dream that he's having. So none of the other characters exist, and everything's going to work out fine, because of course it will, because he can't die in his dream. So that's Mr. Harvey, and I have fun bits of dialogue in my head where people are like, why are you dressed like a rabbit? And he'll say, I'm not dressed like a rabbit. Just without explaining it further, and they'll chalk it up to just, okay, he's speaking nonsense. But the real answer is, like, sometimes he is just speaking nonsense, but really he isn't a rabbit, he is a puka, which is a fairy creature, which is, of course, what Harvey was in the stage play or the Jimmy Stewart movie, to which I alluded earlier. So the character is still just a huge, weird reference of that movie crossed with henshin anime superhero, crossed with just zany, weird fairy culture folklore. That it's just a hodgepodge of stuff that I think is interesting, put into essentially what is a goofy character that I can do whatever the heck I want to do with and not have to worry about if it makes sense. So that's the rough, I don't know, stream of consciousness description of this character. This is the first time, this is a character I've drawn several times since, I think, high school. A long time. And he's gone through different iterations, but I've never actually colored the character before. It's always been pencil sketches on paper, or doodles on math tests. And so I always kind of pictured his suit being this like weird whitish lavender, and then when I put it in here I started struggling to get the color that I pictured, and so I settled on this mostly slightly purple gray white that it is. So I'm pretty happy with it. Didn't really know what it was going to look like when I finally colored it, but one thing I will say, I did 2 iterations of the background, because everybody who watches knows I never put that much thought into backgrounds, but for whatever reason, I'm really happy with this background. So I just had to go in there and make sure that that was done. So here he is, Mr. Harvey. Thanks.